Welcome back to Channel's Business Global with me, Juliana Olayinka, from our studios here in London. Telemedicine is the provision of healthcare over a distance using information and communication technology or a smartphone app. Before the virus pandemic, industry experts had already predicted that the innovation held great promise. Now that we're in this crisis, the market has accelerated beyond what economists could have forecast. Telehealth is now considered among the third wave growth services, the first being e-commerce and the second social media and entertainment. For more on this, I'm now being joined by Henry Etukumo, the founder and CEO of the smart healthcare app Medics to You. Henry, are you concerned that telehealth may just be a stopgap for the crisis, and when it's over, the trend will die?
Well, good afternoon, and thanks for having me on your show. During this global pandemic, telehealth is emerging as an effective and sustainable solution for precaution, prevention, and treatment of not just acute and chronic conditions, but also in stemming the spread of COVID-19 in our communities and hospitals. Unfortunately, providers and policymakers are now playing catch up with telehealth technologies and are just beginning to recognize the huge potentials and benefits that can be realized with this powerful virtual medical institution. But post-COVID-19, the news broke this morning that the Lagos state government has launched Echo Telemed for remote consultation. I believe it's a fantastic news in that it endorses the industry in Lagos state, which is arguably the commercial capital of the continent. And we do hope other states and countries will follow suit. And I want to use this medium to commend the leadership of the Lagos state government led by His Excellency, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who is an extraordinary and visionary leader for setting this great precedent. This goes to prove beyond any reasonable doubt that telemedicine is here to stay.
Well, gosh, that was an endorsement, if any, there was one. Healthcare professionals have finally seen the light, as you've just said, but then you were way before the trend. I do remember you were one of the first guests I had in the studio last year at a time when telemedicine was still, should we, shouldn't we? Tell me a little bit about Medics to You and the services that you offer.
Right. Well, thanks for your kind words, Juliana. These exciting developments demand that medical communities and policymakers in Africa should begin to maximize the potential of telemedicine to confound profound global health issues, as well as the challenges that still prevent its deployment in the continent. And well, Medics to You is not just a telehealthcare provider. We are creating a new category in the market with a bouquet of health products. We offer easy access to high quality healthcare service anytime and anywhere. We're also giving patients access to over 18,000 experienced multi-ethnic UK doctors and specialists on our platform. We have close ties with the executive committee of the Medical Association of Nigerians across Great Britain, making our product a soft landing for a reverse brain drain, and can also help to reduce medical tourism. Within 10 minutes of booking an appointment, a patient can have a face-to-face video, audio, or chat consultation with one of our world-class doctors or specialists, no ifs and no buts. The diagnosis and prescription service also comes as standard, and medication will be delivered to patients' door within 2 to 24 hours, depending on their geographic location in the country.
Okay, Henry, sorry to interject there, but you mentioned 18,000 healthcare practitioners that you can access, and no ifs, no buts. Well, ifs and buts are the fabric, some would say, of, you know, a legitimate society, which is one of the reasons a lot of governments, particularly in the West, are worried about going too deep into partnership with private telehealthcare companies. For example, there could be legal issues stemming from privacy, liability, licensing, and security. How do you overcome that?
Well, indeed, I would say to avoid these liabilities, the private sector needs to know precisely what is required and allowed in every jurisdiction and how regulations impact specific services within specific contexts and what is legal in one country might not be in another. What is good or acceptable practice in one situation might expose you to legal issues and civil suits in another. And if in response to this pandemic, national governments can match technology, which is now a critical infrastructure with the appropriate institutions, standards, and norms. I believe this will create an inclusive, human centered future for us and help mitigate the risk facing the sector.
Okay, what about the issues that we have with healthcare and access to technology in Africa? I can presume not just with Medics2U, but with other telehealthcare or telemedicine applications, that this is one of the hindrances to the people that you want to get to the most: poor technology infrastructure and low computer literacy. Is that an issue?
Absolutely, and I think that's a very very good question. I would say that the introduction of 5G network, though controversial in some circles, who are linking it with the spread of coronavirus, has, in my opinion, put developed and developing countries on a level playing field. Having said that, Medics2U was built by Africans for Africans, and every part of the product was built with the end user in mind. Our app is very intuitive and user friendly. It's simple and elegant, making our product a joy to own and a joy to use. I would say a major infrastructural challenge that is faced and expressed by many of our customers is secure and fast internet connection. And people are concerned about the additional costs that they will incur to have a consultation. And like you rightly said, this not only applies to Medics2U, but with all other telehealthcare providers. And to overcome this challenge, we have partnered with the biggest telecom provider in Africa to provide super fast, at the moment, 4G internet connection at zero cost to our patients, meaning they can browse our website, use our mobile app for a face-to-face video consultation free of data costs. We aim to expand our partnership with other telecom providers to also accommodate a wider audience. Another exciting feature, which is currently being built and will be released in June,
hopefully you'll come back and talk to me about that. Let's broaden this out as we wrap up this discussion,
Yes.
Henry. Because of course, even though we know most telehealthcare and telemedicine applications are for Africa, the reason why we're having this discussion is because it's being used everywhere now. I have friends who are doctors. I certainly know that you have. Many of them are working on the front line, but many of them are working from home because they're GPs and they're consulting with their patients over the internet. Can you see this happening once the pandemic is over? Will GPs now say, you know what, I can actually save time and see more customers if I'm working through home through this kind of telehealthcare software?
Well, absolutely. I would say we're living unprecedented times, and COVID-19 pandemic, in my opinion, has introduced the world to the fourth industrial revolution, which represents a paradigm shift to the way we live, work, and interact with one another. This is a new chapter in human history enabled by advanced technology that requires all of us to adjust from the norm to the new norm. And the COVID-19 crisis has shown us that emerging technologies like telemedicine, which is powered by artificial intelligence and Internet of Medical Things, putting that within context, are now critical infrastructure that is essential to the functioning of our society and economy. And it will also accelerate digital transformation in global healthcare. And we, Medics2U, aim to lead that effort in Africa.
Well, Henry, thank you. There's no doubt that telemedicine, telehealthcare, apps like Medics2U are really providing a crucial lifeline in what is an unprecedented global pandemic. Sadly, that's all we have time for today, but do get in touch with your comments and suggestions. I'll see you at the same time next week for more in-depth business analysis on Channel's Business Global. Goodbye.